Hello there and a warm welcome from the incredibly spectacular Monte Carlo. It's UIM E1 World Championship presented by PIF and E1 Monaco. What a spectacular time of the year to come to the Principality. And how competitive is E1 with all of the celebrity team owners? LeBron James himself here from Team Alula. This weekend, Mark Anthony with Miami making an appearance here in the Principality. I'm sure it's not the first time Mark Anthony's been to Monaco. And Mr. Tennis Grand Slam himself, Rafa Nadal, and he really has had some drama with his team across the qualifying time trials. LeBron James, he'll have a good view of the action wherever he's watching from, and Didier Drogba as well. Tom Brady there as well. So the world famous Port Hercule here in Monaco, of course, famous for its four-wheeled action, but we're on the water this weekend. And look how close things are here in E1. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? 7 points between the top two, 21 covering the top three, with Brady, your reigning champions, having won last time out at Lago Maggiore in Italy. Well, these are the qualifying time trials yesterday, and Brady are very much leading the way. The qualifying races were cancelled because of an incident. We'll get into that very shortly, but Brady really do have the momentum with Sam Coleman and Emmett Kimalainen. They won here last year, and they won in Italy 3 weeks ago. So this is where we are at this point. The qualifying races yesterday were cancelled, so none of the bonus points have been given out on this occasion. We're into the group stages now to determine the running orders, making our way towards the final at the end of the day. And everybody, as you can see for yourself, have been split up into two groups. So what can Rafa do? It's damage limitation for the championship leaders. They have had one win from the 4 events so far in this 2025 season of the UIM E1 World Championship presented by PIF. Also a sizable break at the end of this round because we're not racing again until October and Nigeria. So everybody wants to go into that break on a real high. Brady there, just in the milling area. Slightly overcast here at Monte Carlo this morning, as you can see for yourself. But what we have seen is that the conditions are extremely changeable, and that caught out quite a few of the teams in the qualifying time trials here on Friday. Mark Anthony then is here. Of course, bit of salsa, I'm sure we'll see from Mark Anthony, won't we, across the course of the event, especially if they do well. Although Miami did have some problems yesterday. They weren't getting up on the foil, so a few technical problems for them. LeBron James, Team Alula, championed by LeBron James is their full team name. Katie Munnings there on your left and Rusty Wyatt on the right. And great to see LeBron here. It's actually his first trip to E1 since the series started last year. But of course, this is a new team, Team Alula, for the 2025 campaign, so it's going to be really interesting to see what he makes of the proceedings here as he just gets down there off the boat. Rafa Nadal, 22 times a tennis Grand Slam champion. Real scare for them yesterday when Tom Chapp, one of their 2 pilots, was involved in an incident with Team Brazil. Great opportunity as well for the public here and all of the guests of E1 to meet these superstars. Pretty much all of the team owners have come to Monte Carlo for this 5th round of the season. Rafa really getting into it as well. He was watching from the boat yesterday. He's been watching on the live streams as well, and was a bit shaken up actually for their incident. They're all turning up though. Didier Drogba with Team Drogba. They, like Brazil, have a new boat this weekend after a collision at Lago Maggiore last time out. All of the pilots are okay, that's the main thing. Didier, of course, it's certainly not his first trip to Monaco, but this is a very different sort of thing now for him, and a lot of them will be watching from the boats as well as the races go on. Well, it's the best vantage point to have, isn't it, here in the world famous Port Hercule of Monte Carlo. Now, we saw how tight the championship is. Let me just remind you, 7 points between Rafa and Aoki at the top, 21 back to this team here, Brady, your reigning champions. And it was 126 points still left up for grabs before the event began. That's 123 now, because we didn't have any points given out for yesterday's qualifying races. Greg Haynes with you. Shelley Jury-Lee is alongside us, and all of the drama just seems to be coming the way of E1, doesn't it, in 2025 with collisions at Lago Maggiore, collision here yesterday as well with Brazil and Rafa, and as you can see on the graphics, Shelley, on the right-hand side, and the drops on the camera lens, just to add to all of this, it's starting to rain here now as well.
Yes, sometimes the rain is a good thing in racing, Greg, because it actually calms the water down. It can actually drop the wind, calm the water, which actually could help, because as we can see, it's not that flat out there. There is a swell, and as we learned yesterday, the swell comes in, bounces off the walls and goes back out, and it's been causing the E1 race birds and the pilots, you know, quite a lot of drama out there. All of them have come in and said, it's not that flat out there, and as we know, the E1 racebird does like flat water. When you're trying to drive the boat up onto the foils and balance it all at the same time, there's a lot going on. And a lot going on here as well with Rafa's first boat yesterday. Had this been a freshwater event, Shelley, it would have been better news, but this is a saltwater event, so that boat was partially sunk yesterday. A lot of damage done there. A lot of damage, and yes, this is the new livery for Team Rafa. Quite similar to Team Blue Rising, but hopefully we'll tell the difference. We'll find out very shortly, won't we? So the group races are coming up very shortly indeed. We'll have two stages. Stage one determines your start lane, your grid position, if you like, for stage two. And this is working our way towards the final at the end of the day, when 38 points will be given out for victory here at E1 Monaco. They've made their pilot choices now, and they will keep alternating between the male and female pilots between now and the end of the day. Everybody in the milling area on the right-hand side of your screen in an anti-clockwise direction, following the rules. So, lane one, Brady, your reigning champions and winners here last year. Aoki have led the championship. They're the only team to win 2 events so far. Will Smith's Westbrook, lane 3, and Rafa 4. So, Spain's Chris Lazaraga will kick us off here, the jet ski professional. Let's see what she can do with Rafa. As Shelley has said, a new livery. It's a new boat for them after the accident here on Friday. Fingers crossed all goes well. America's Sarah Price ready to go, to put it mildly, isn't she, with the spectacular red Westbrook Racing Racebird. They're actually 5th in the championship, despite making the final in 3 of the 4 events we've had so far this season, in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and then Dubrovnik and Maggiore. This is Aoki Racing. Steve Aoki, the world-famous DJ and record producer, oversees this outfit. Really nice livery with the pink dragon there and the blue, the clouds and the cherry blossom. Mashayal Al-Abaidan here from Saudi Arabia. For your reigning champions, it's Emma Kymäläinen from Finland. We've already mentioned the changeable conditions, but whether it was calm in practice or choppy in the qualifying time trials yesterday, Brady have been the fastest team so far this weekend. So talk us round, Shelley. We will have long and short laps today, won't we? The standard lap is 1.3 kilometres. Yes, so today, unlike yesterday for qualifying, we have the standard lap, which we can see here on the screen in white, and then we also have a long lap and a short lap to do. So you have to do 1 of each in each of the 6 laps, and it's real strategic of when you take those laps. Here we go then, 24 seconds and counting to the race start. I guess now as a pilot, the tension's really mounting, isn't it, in the cockpit? Oh yes, this is the moment where you absolutely, you want to be sick. The adrenaline is buzzing here. And as we've learned, this start is so important in E1 racing. Here we go then, they're in the start chute. They won't use the chicane-esque left-right on the first of the laps. Green flag's gone down, perfect start, nobody went ahead of time. Westbrook Racing with the advantage, the red boat coming towards us. Brady are on the inside line. Westbrook is Sarah Price. Brady is Emma Kymäläinen. And then it is
Rafa on the outside with their more white livery now. They're usually orange, but more white on this occasion after the incident yesterday. A little bit bumpy and choppy out here now. The conditions are changing even as we talk to you. And Aoki have actually gone up the inside of Rafa there and taken that third place. Nice clean start though, exactly what we wanted. We're now coming up to the trouble spot. Believe it or not, if we finished one racing lap, we would have already got further than we did in the whole of yesterday when we had red flag and a delay. Looking back at one of the smart marks there from Aoki, and they're actually ahead of Rafa. I'm not surprised that Chris Lazaraga's been careful early doors, but that boat's a new one. It's going to feel a little unfamiliar to her. So Westbrook then with the advantage, Sherry, as we make our way down towards the first racing lap and its conclusion now.
Yeah, and as you can see, the conditions are not easy out there. It's actually rougher than yesterday, Greg. We've got a swell there. You can see they're struggling to keep the Racebird up on the foils, which is really part of the skill of driving the E1 Racebird boat. Who we got here on board with Aoki here, looking back. You can see how much the engine is moving there. That will just show how rough the conditions are for them.
Into the second of the 6 laps. Don't forget, as you've already said, Shelley, we've got short and long laps to contend with, and Rafa getting a bit out of shape there. Goodness me, you can hear how uncomfortable the conditions are. Never mind see them, you can hear them as well, can't you, from the waves hitting the bottom of the holes.
Yeah, because obviously the Racebird is optimum performance when it's up and on the foils and not touching the water. You do not want that hull touching the water. And as you can see, across the whole fleet here, they're all struggling to keep it on the foils. So really tough conditions for them, actually.
Short lap then for Westbrook. They've decided to peel off early. It looks like Brady are following them, so the top two, as you can see, have taken the short lap. Third and fourth, who are also 1 and 2 in the championship with 7 points between them, are carrying our long, and in fact Aoki have gone for the long lap. So we're seeing all the different possible strategies here. You see the green smart mark, the green buoy there on the right hand side, that delineates the long lap, and it is about 0.2 of a kilometre longer. It's 1.5 for a long lap, 1.3 standard, 1.1 for the short lap. So now this is where we get a real shuffle, isn't it, to see who gains and loses with these alternative strategies.
This is where the strategy all comes to play here. I would say that
Aoki, sorry Shelley, sorry to interrupt you, but do Aoki have a problem there?
I would say they do. They were definitely slow on... Oh, have they picked back up again? Yeah.
It's like it, doesn't it?
I think they're back up to speed, full speed there, so I don't know whether they just took a corner a little bit too tight, maybe they hooked slightly. We're into the third lap here, but the strategy that Westbrook and Brady took is exactly what I would have done. If you're in the lead, get the short lap done and get more distance between you and the boats behind you as soon as possible. Good move on the long lap for Aoki. That was a good move because that's done and dusted for them now.
Yeah, something definitely happened there, didn't it? As Brady, as you can see on the right-hand side in front of these mega yachts here at Monte Carlo, what a setting it is. They take their long lap. The team owners watching on, look, what a view. They've got Mark Anthony up there with the blue cap and the others alongside him. But there goes Brady right past that mega yacht.
Yeah, so we've got Westbrook still in the lead. She has done her short lap, but still the long lap to go. So now she will literally want to get as much distance as she can between her and Brady and make sure she's got time to fit that long lap in and keep her position as she joins the course.
Yes, because Brady, who we are now looking at, as you can see on the graphics at the top of the screen, have done both their short and long lap. Rafa, you see in the background, are the latest to complete their long lap here in the first of the group races. Aoki have obviously lost time after that incident earlier on.
Westbrook are actually in a really good place because, as we can see, Brady are 17 seconds behind us. So Sarah Price has actually got time to do her long lap at any point now. I would imagine that her team may call it before she loses that advantage.
On board then now with your race leader, the American Sarah Price. You can see the boost being used at the top of the screen when the green line makes its way down towards the end of the graphic. It can be used sporadically this season. That's a change from last year. You're able to use the boost and then it resets. It takes about double the time you've been on the boost for it to reset. So you see it's charged back up again. And Sarah uses all the boost available, and now look, the grey line on that graphic is charging back up. She, as you've already said, still needs to do the long lap. Is taking the standard lap at this point. So we're halfway through now, 3 laps down, 3 to go in this first group stage race. Remember, this is all about seeding. It's all about your position in the next group race when your teammate will be out there. Wing mirrors on the race birds. That is a new addition for this weekend. Do you reckon that's going to make much difference?
It will make a lot of difference. They are really, really useful for the, yes, you've got your team in mission control, calling all the shots, who's on your left, who's on your right, give space on the corners, but it is so much better if you can actually, as a pilot, look in the wing mirror and see it for yourself in real time. And that was all from the incident that we had in the last race between Owen Duncan and...
it was Timmy Hansen, wasn't it?
That was it,
It was Timmy Hansen with Brazil, who incidentally is actually not racing because he's doing a Rallycross this weekend. Rafa then now are taking their short lap as we ride with our leaders. This is Westbrook. That's red smart marks on your left-hand side, so that signifies that we're on the main course. We're actually coming up towards the end of the lap. Throttle, as you can see, is usually flat chat there. The throttle operated in these boats, the race birds, with the right foot. The boost is a button on the steering wheel, very much a Formula One-esque steering wheel on board, and they have panels in front of them as well. One of them gives the general information, one of them is race information, and we're now on to lap 5 of 6. You can see the lap we're on the graphic at the bottom of your screen. Now, what's the situation? Who still needs to do a long lap? Well, the leaders certainly do, but their lead is 15 seconds over this boat here, the modified livery for Rafa, and a short lap still needs to be taken as well by Aoki. So can they get anywhere near Rafa? I doubt it, because they're a long way down now after the problem they had earlier on in the race.
Yes, and Westbrook still have a 15-second lead on Brady, so she's got plenty of time to do her long lap. So I would say that this is a home run for them, for Westbrook Racing, let's hope. Yeah,
this is amazing, phenomenal teamwork, isn't it? You have to say, from Will Smith's Westbrook Racing crew, because they had all sorts of electrical problems in practice yesterday. Sarah barely got a lap in. Her teammate, the Spanish racing driver, Lucas Ordonez, didn't get a lap in at all. Went out there and went straight into the top 5. He was absolutely delighted about that when we chatted with him last night. So they've got the wiring loom sorted out, and this is going to be a real achievement if they can come through and win their first group race here. So, what's going on, Shadow? We're seeing all sorts of telemetry here.
So she's coming into this corner now. You can see that she's in positive trim here. Now, positive trim actually slows the boat down and give it stability to turn that corner. Her foot will be hard to the throttle, but she's using the trim to balance the boat around the corner. I have to just say, this is complete opposite to our normal standard powerboat strategy that we use when we're racing in pleasure and racing. Complete opposite to drive the race bird.
So we're about to experience a long lap on board by the looks of things. Look for the green smart marks. There it is, just in front of the super yacht. Look, dead ahead of us. We've got to go around the outside of that green smart mark. They're called smart marks. They're not normal buoys. They're not even anchored to the seabed here. It's much more environmentally friendly. They all operate with GPS, and sure enough, Sarah takes that outside line, completes the long lap. As you've already said, it was well over a 15-second lead. It's a 17-second advantage now. So when Westbrook comes through the merge point, which we're about to see, Brady on your right-hand side, Westbrook on the left. This is the final lap. It's going to be relatively close, but Westbrook, as long as nothing's gone wrong in that long lap, will have the advantage. And sure enough, they do. And it's going to be a perfect start to Saturday here at Monte Carlo. Rafa being careful with a different boat today after yesterday's incident with Brazil in the qualifying time trials. They're third, championship leaders third, and Alibi Dan for Aoki, who had an issue earlier on, and their problems continue because they had a lot of issues last time out at Maggiore as well. So we're distant fourth at the moment for the erstwhile leaders, and look at that, they missed the buoy. I was just talking about the smart marks for Westbrook, can you believe it? And they've been given a penalty lap for that. That'll equate now to a time penalty because this is the last lap. So that means surely that Brady now will have the advantage. I can't believe it, Shelley, I can't believe it.
I can't believe it. They've been out practicing all day yesterday. They did qualifying. How can you miss a lap today? And when you're in the lead, Sarah Price will be gutted with this.
She certainly will as she crosses the line in front, but Brady are second. What's the gap in terms of time? 8.5 seconds. And just to reiterate, as we see Aoki coming through for third place, that was the last lap, so obviously you can't take a penalty lap after the race. That'll be a time penalty now.
And I think Westbrook have actually pulled off the course knowing she thinks she's finished. She thinks, look, she's over here, she's crossed the line, she thinks she's finished. Now, is she going to have to turn around again and go and do the long lap, or are they just going to give her the time penalty?
Yeah, definitely it'll be added to time, and we'll get our notification of that. We're keeping a very, very close look at our timing screen here in the commentary box. It's the same information that is fed to all of the teams as well down in the launch zone. Well, just as you thought it was safe to go back in the water, can you believe it? Now, let's just see if we can listen. It looks as though Sarah's just been informed about that from these guys here back at base. Lucas Ordóñez there, her teammate, who had a 13-hour drive. He decided to drive from Madrid to Monte Carlo, and that's 13 hours of actual driving time, let alone the stops. So are we now looking into the eyes of our P1 crew? This is Sam Coleman. He's chatting with the team, possibly even chatting with Emma there, actually, to inform her of what's just happened. Emma won't have known that Westbrook went inside one of those smart marks. Hopefully we'll see a replay to explain exactly what happened there. But I was just saying it at the time, wasn't I? You've got to go around the outside of the smart marks, not the inside of these smart marks. So we're going to jump on board with Brady, and now it has just been updated. Brady have won this first group race here. Emma Kymäläinen, what drama there with Westbrook being given a penalty. So you do win the first group race of the weekend here. Congratulations. Congratulations then to everyone at Brady. That's a really great performance from Emma Kymäläinen, and as I said at the top, they were the quickest in practice and the qualifying time trials, even though the times were the best part of 3 seconds off in the time trials yesterday in comparison with the earlier practice sessions, and that was all to do with the conditions. The saving grace here, Shelley, for Westbrook is that at least they are still second. And this isn't to do with championship points, so it's not the end of the world, thankfully. So Sarah Price, although she'll be feeling a little bit sheepish, it is easily done sometimes. Not the end of the world. At least they still have the second best lane, don't they, for their starting position in the next group final. We're on board now with Aoki. They're having a bit of a tough time of it, aren't they, at the moment? I don't know what happened there, because we did see them with some sort of issue, but they've actually managed, would you believe, to jump ahead of Rafa in the closing stages there. So Rafa and Chris Lazaraga clearly have had some sort of issue as well. While we were talking about all of that drama at the front, Aoki have managed to sneak up into third place. This is Danny Kloss watching on, the Spanish racing driver. He's had some good days here in the past in GP2 back in 2010. Took a pole position on the streets and then a podium as well, when he shared that podium with Sergio Perez and Pastor Maldonado. On board now then with his teammate Marshall Alabaidan, and of course she wanted to make amends, didn't she, here after making a costly error in Italy last time out when she took the wrong route. Yeah, so she's just chatting now with the team. They have two-way communication here between the teams and the race birds themselves. Well, Westbrook, Sarah Price is going to be feeling really bad, isn't she, about that? Look, unfortunately, but I'm sure she will.
Yeah, this is racing. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, but at this point, you just feel gutted. You've let your team down, and you just need to push it behind you, get on with it. It's team. It's a teamwork. It's never an I in team, and you just put it behind you, and everyone gets on and carries on for another day.
32-year-old American. It's one female pilot and one male pilot. They've already made what's known as the pilot choice, and that was halfway through yesterday. So everybody's locked in now, and you have to alternate. That's Guy Barron there from the team, just chatting with his pilot. And as we say, it's not a disaster. Now, here we go. This is looking back at the start of that group race, and it was an absolutely excellent start. Really beautifully timed, it has to be said, from the red boat. Look at the flag on the left-hand side on the rib there. Down goes the yellow, up goes the green. That means we've got a clean start from the start marshal. And Westbrook had timed it, as I say, beautifully, and they lead down towards the first corner. Rafa, that boat will be feeling a bit strange to them, even though they did have some practice laps earlier on. Looking back now then from Westbrook, and you really have to time this well, don't you, Shelley? Because we've seen people in the past go too soon, and then you have to back off. You've lost momentum, and if you go too soon, you're not going to have the lead down to turn one.
Yes, and then with the E1 Racebird, as soon as you back off, you actually drop off the foils, and which is just, it's not how this Racebird likes to fly, if I'm truly honest. It needs to be up and out of the water, so that we've watched it over and over again. The start is crucial. You have to be at optimum speed, flying on the foils to get that best position, and Westbrook did a good job.
Look at that start as well for Rafa on the right-hand side of your screen, just passing Aoki at this point.
I think Aoki definitely had a problem from the start there. We heard Michelle at the end saying she was explaining to her team what the problem was, and we definitely saw her sort of slow in the water at one point. So let's hope they can sort their issues out before they have to race again.
Yes, absolutely, because if you're stopped for 30 seconds, then you will be retrieved. Luckily, they weren't stopped for 30 seconds, so we're looking back now from the Aoki boat, which is very easy to identify with its blue and pink livery, at Rafa there, who are just diving up on the inside, and this is where different laps are taken. We're taking a long lap on that particular replay. Now, this is Sarah Price on board with Westbrook, and don't forget there was that quite costly error towards the end of the run there. She elected to leave the long lap until the very end, have some clear space in front of her with nobody in the way and nobody hopefully disturbing the wake. That's what the strategy is all about, although as you've already said, Shelley, we have got pretty choppy conditions here at Monte Carlo anyway, with a lot of other boats in the vicinity, and the water tends to bounce back in off the harbour walls as well. Well, great start then for Brady, and Emma is now down there with Alex Aljo to get all of the latest.
Emma, congratulations. How happy can you be with that?
Yeah, it's, you know, one job done, plenty to go. From here on was very important win so that Sam gets the pole position. Very tricky conditions out there, very choppy. It wasn't easy at all. But yeah, learned a lot.
What kind of impact do those conditions have on you when you're out there?
Well, it annoys me. That's for one. It's like, I'm probably grinding my teeth. I don't probably have any teeth left after this because I'm like grinding them, being like, do what I want, kind of thing. You know, like you're trying to adjust the boat, and then you're like, you just hope it would work as you want. But then, you know, another swell or another wave comes, and it just like sets you off and flies you in the air, and it's very, very tricky. Yeah, stressful as always. That's E1.
What will you be saying to Sam? What's your advice to him?
Oh, well, Sam knows very well these kind of conditions. You know, he comes from offshore racing, so he's very familiar with all the big chops and stuff. He knows exactly what to do, so I'll just say enjoy.
Emma, thanks so much. Good luck today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Emma. That sounds like a rather good plan to me. Just try and enjoy it as much as possible, and hopefully it will take care of itself. As Brady, off the back of their win last time out in Italy and their victory here last year, win the first group race. So as you can see, there's two pilots in each team. Sam Coleman will take over in their next race, and he'll have the inside line, and that's the best place to start. Westbrook, Aoki and Rafa then with their new boat for today, completing your top four. This is the launch zone where everybody's lined up in championship position. Rafa's Racebird closest to us. They're on 125 points after Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, Doha in Qatar, Dubrovnik in Croatia, and Lago Maggiore last time out in Italy, with 3 rounds to go. Monte Carlo right here, right now. Then it's Lagos in Nigeria on the 5th of October, and Miami, East Coast of America, to bring the curtain down on E1 for 2025. That'll be on the 8th of November. This is Team Alula in the meantime. Team Miami, I should say, not Team Alula. What am I talking about? They're getting ready to go out in a moment with Anna Glennon. They'll be in lane 5 for this next one. Westbrook now just going back through what's just happened there with Sarah Price. Of course, they had that post-race time penalty. They were given a long lap, but it happened on the last lap, so that's converted to a time penalty. Yeah, Sarah obviously a little bit annoyed with that, but as we said before, it could have been a whole lot worse. At least they've not jettisoned any championship points, because their first group race there was determining their lane position for the next one. This is Team Alula now, championed by LeBron James, who is here today. They'll be starting with Katie Munnings, the former Extreme E driver. She's in lane 3. There are 9 teams in the field, so 1 extra Racebird in our next group race now, because they've been split up from yesterday's qualifying time trials. 1 group of 4, 1 group of 5. Shelley, you've obviously given them permission to take the boat out while you're here in the commentary box. That's kind of you.
Yes, I told my skipper to just pop out and have a look at the course for me.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Very nice it is too, here in the splendour of the Principality of Monaco. One group race down, 3 to go here at E1 Monaco. It's round 5 for the UIM E1 World Championship presented by PIF. Let's get the latest from Alex, who's down there with Team Alula, championed by LeBron James.
Rusty, thank you so much for speaking to us. First things first, can you talk me through that collision yesterday from your point of view? Because you were right there, weren't you?
Yeah, I was looking at my mirror. I had the overlap on Marit, and obviously with the whitewash, the spray, it's very hard to see. So she probably just lost a little bit of depth. And once the foil gets into the to the white water, I think it grabbed her left foil and just kicked her sideways. And unfortunately, Tom was right there, and quite the collision, hurt the boat for the Rafa boat quite badly. So they're in the backup boat today. Glad to see everybody was all right from the collision, but yeah, just an unfortunate racing incident.
New day today, big day today, and LeBron James is here. Just how much do you want to perform out there and impress your team owner?
Yeah, of course. We got a huge day ahead of us here. We just met LeBron for the first time. It was a nice showing. He loves the bird, and it was good to have him here. There's obviously a lot of pressure on. So we're starting third in Group 2. Katie's starting this one, and I got high hopes for today. I think we can do it today. We got some good speed for sure.
Tell us, what did LeBron say to you?
Yeah, LeBron, he was just really excited to actually the layout of the bird. He saw, we shipped him a wheel, and he got to play with the wheel like a video game. He thought that was quite cool. So he looked inside and saw it firsthand and saw the colors and everything on it, and he likes it, and that's what we want.
Has he been motivating you, team talk?
Yeah, no, he said no pressure, just do your best, so that's quite cool.
Based on what we saw yesterday, the conditions, difficult, what's the approach today?
Yeah, yesterday it got better as the day went on. So when we went out for that race, it was a lot calmer than what we qualified and what we've been testing in. So that was nice to see. Hopefully we can get a lot more of that today because the boats perform so much better in the calmer water. So we got set up for both, and hopefully we can get it done today.
Should we get Katie involved? Katie? She's in the zone. She's in the zone. I just want to get your reaction to meeting LeBron James for the first time. What a start to your day.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy, so it was really cool to show him around the boat. And yeah, it's cool to have him here this weekend supporting us.
Has he motivated you?
Always.
What's the approach today? We're just chatting to Rusty about the conditions.
I don't know, I've not seen the water yet. I've heard it's a bit calmer than it was yesterday, so that'll be nice. I think that will suit us better. We've got a better feeling in the boat, I think, in the smooth than the rough at the minute. So yeah, I'm up first. Hopefully put this guy in a good spot for the second race.
Just how much would you like to finish on the podium with your team owner here?
Well, obviously it's what we're aiming for today, but we've got to take it a step at a time and not let it get to us, I guess, the pressure, and just do what we normally do.
Mark shouting the instructions, as always. Thank you so much, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
And Alex, thank you very much indeed to you as well. That was just a short time ago then, because Katie Munnings will be in the boat, I would imagine, by now. This, in the meantime, then, is some of her rivals getting ready to go with Team Blue Rising, and they will be in lane 1 with Sarah Mizir from Jamaica. But yes, LeBron James, as we heard there, is here, the NBA's all-time leading scorer. So I think it's fair to say there is a fair amount of motivation to be provided there to Katie, who incidentally is from London, and her Canadian teammate we heard from there with Alex, Rusty Wyatt, born in Toronto, and he's moved around Canada a bit over the years as well. Just pushing back now, Team Blue Rising. John Peters will be on board later, and he's an excellent starter, and we'll know which lane he's in later, depending on what his teammate does here. We're on board then now with Blue Rising, and Shelley, we've seen from these onboard shots as the season's gone on, visibility, well, there isn't some often, is there? If you get away cleanly at the front, it's a big advantage, because the spray further back, you're really relying on your team, because it's almost impossible at times, isn't it, to actually see where you're going, and that's when your team radio really comes into play.
Yeah, I often describe sitting in a cockpit, in a canopy cockpit like we have here on the E1 Racebird, as it's sometimes you might as well be sat in a washing machine because you have all the wash from the boats in front of you coming over. Obviously, we have got slightly choppy conditions here, so the bow is dipping into the waves occasionally and coming up over the windscreen as well. And yeah, you might as well be sat in a washing machine, and sometimes it can be literally 3 to 4 seconds of complete no visibility whatsoever, and you just have to basically put your foot down and drive through it.
I suppose clear, concise and calm team radio communications are crucial as well. It must be so easy for the team to get a little bit wound up and excited, but they need to keep calm, don't they, to be able to communicate on board here to the pilots. That was Brazil there that we were briefly on board with. We said Timmy Hansen, who's doing Rallycross this weekend, is not here. So we do have in his place Youssef from Kuwait, Al Abdul Razak. He did race with us here in E1 last year, but this is his first appearance with the striking looking Team Brazil livery of 2025. And Steve Curtis, those of you who were with us at Lago Maggiore 3 weeks ago will know that Steve Curtis has switched across from Restbook Racing to become the new team principal of Brazil. And Shelley, you know Steve Curtis very well. He's been there, he's done it. He's a very calming influence to have, and he's needed to be, because they've had so much drama with collisions, haven't they, yesterday and also at Lago Maggiore. So nice to have Steve Curtis there, just keeping everyone as calm as possible.
Yes, Steve will have seen this sort of collision many, many times throughout his career. He is, they call him the GOAT. He is one of the greatest of all time. He's an 8 times world champion powerboat racer, and he would be very used to preparing and mending boats overnight. And as we speak, there he is with Marit Stromroy. Steve Curtis on the right with the other driver, Marit Stromroy, looking on, hoping that they have done the best repairs overnight and they've got a chance to fight for another day today.
Yeah, we had a quick chat, didn't we, with Marit earlier on today, and she's extremely calm, ready to go, smile on her face. Hello, Steve. You know we're talking about you, don't you? You can hear the commentary going out here at Monaco. So nice to know you're on the telly as everyone gets into the milling area now. So they come from the launch zone to the milling area. No points on offer. This is about your lane positions for the second finals coming up very shortly. So this is race 2 of the day. This is group stage 2A, and it's Blue rising with the advantage in lane 1. Then it's Didier Drogba's outfit from Alula, championed by LeBron James. Brazil, Marcel Clauret's team, and Team Miami with Mark Anthony watching on from the super yacht. So on the outside, in theory, the worst place to start. What can Annette Glennon do from there? This boat, though, Team Miami did have issues yesterday. You can see, look, they're not up on the foils. They're right on the bottom of the boat itself. They need to be up on the foils. Hopefully, they've overcome those issues. Youssef Al Abdul Razak steps into the fray with Team Brazil. Loves fishing and paddle. This is going to be a little bit more dramatic for the jet ski world champion from Kuwait. Nice to see him back here at E1 Monaco. They're in lane 4. London's Katie Munnings will get the Team Alula, championed by LeBron James, workload underway for Saturday here at Monte Carlo. She's right in the middle, so she's got a lot of work to do with people on her left and on her right in lane 3. Micah Wilkinson here with Didier Drogba's crew, the New Zealand Olympic sailor, extremely successful in terms of his Olympic Games success. And he'll be hoping to get the advantage, I would imagine, on the run down into that first corner. But thanks to their performance yesterday in the qualifying time trials, the qualifying races themselves were red flagged because of the incident. Sarah Mizir from Jamaica has the advantage, the inside line for Virat Kohli, the cricket superstars, Team Blue Rising. So here we go then, Shelley. This is our course here at E1 Monaco. Anti-clockwise once again, but a different shape to what we saw at Lago Maggiore last time out.
Yeah, this is a very elongated rectangle course, which is great because they've got 2 great long straights where they can really get up on the foils and pick the speed up as much as possible on with these E1 race birds. 1 short lap, 1 long lap in amongst the 6 laps in total.
Here we go then. This is when the tension really begins to build. Less than half a minute to go. Who's going to go first? That's the question.
Well, as we know, it all comes down to this start, Greg. You have got to get it absolutely spot on and get into the lead, because if you get into that slightly clean water in these conditions, it really does help.
Remember, this is all about setting the grid, your best lane position for when things really do get crucial at the end of the group races later on. Here we go. That's a clean start. They've got the green flag. Everybody is away well. Don't forget, 5 boats this time. 4 in the opening group stage, but 5 in this one. No long or short laps on this opening run. Brazil closest to us with the green and yellow livery. Blue Rising are attacking as we ride with Drogba. They're not just attacking, they've got the advantage now, and they have right of way as we get towards the first smart mark. Are they through or are they not? They backed out of it a little bit there, didn't they? Drogba certainly don't want another collision after what happened last time out at Lago Maggiore, but wonderful onboard shots here at E1 Monaco. Team Blue Rising, there they are. That's Sarah Mizir from Jamaica as we rode with Micah Wilkinson from New Zealand, and it's still not over. Blue Rising on the right, Drogba on the left, and Blue Rising from lane 1 almost lost the lead there. They might lose it now.
This is close quarter racing. This is absolutely what we love to see. Neither of these two teams are giving in. Oh, it's Team Blue Rising just pulling ahead slightly there from that angle, but Drogba is still coming back, fighting. Losing a little bit of control there on Team Blue Rising. Need to be up on those foils and balanced. On Team Brazil there, we can just see we're on board with Team Alula here, and Team Brazil on the left, so we've got third and fourth battle there.
On board there now with Alula, championed by LeBron James. This is Brazil on the outside. That's an all-new race bird for this weekend after the heavy contact with Drogba in the race-off last time out in Lago Maggiore in Italy. Look how close this is. The field is still really closely bunched as we move into the second lap. This is the first time they'll actually go through what we're dubbing as the chicane, because they don't do that on the opening lap. And who's going to be taking short and long laps? This is where the strategy starts to come into play as we look across the choppy waters here at Monte Carlo.
Now Sarah Mizir has pulled away from Drogba there, so if I was her, I would be doing my short lap at this point. Is she going to do it? Yes, she is. I believe she is taking her short lap. As we've seen it time and time again, that is the strategy you need if you're in the lead. Get away from the rest of the fleet as quick as possible.
Yeah, well predicted, Shelley. We've seen this before, haven't we? Brazil are going for their long lap, as you can see on the right-hand side. Miami have gone for the short, so look what that does. Miami were 5th at the start of the race. They were 5th before long and short laps began. They've gone through the short lap now with Anna Glennon, which puts them second, some clear space in front of them. But that may well delay the likes of Drogba and Alula, who now find themselves in the wake. So they're going to start catching Miami, because Miami's had a few problems so far this weekend as the Alula squad watches on. We're on board now with their boat, their race bird, Katie Munnings. She's not yet done a long or short lap. This is the view we have then from the boat, currently in 4th place, as Drogba in 3rd with the yellow flashes close right in now on Miami. They're ahead of us because they've already taken the short lap. We're just coming through to lap 3 with 4 to go.
Now that was a great strategic play by Miami, but as we can see, they are struggling. Look at Drogba, they're gaining on him all the time. Miami just don't have the power there.
Well, at least they're just about up on the foils today. Unlike yesterday, you see the hydro foils there, one on the left, one on the right, but great shots here as we see Drogba passing them, and the others, of course, back at base. They need to just watch. There's nothing they can do at the moment, but that was Oban Duncan we were watching just a moment ago, teammate to Micah Wilkinson. Okay, Blue Rising standard lap. Drogba have gone through for the short lap to try and get out of the traffic. Blue Rising have not yet done, they have done their short lap, so this is absolutely for the lead now, and we might get a change here. They've both done the short lap, yet to do the long lap, and we've got a change. That's worked out very nicely indeed then for Drogba. Shelley, we saw them side by side on lap 1, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see them side by side again in just a moment. So this is your net fight for the lead now here in the second group stage at E1 Monaco. They've both taken the short lap. They've got long laps to go. I guess they'll want to avoid doing it on the same lap, won't they? They'll try and use different tactics.
Yes, but Drogba's got to get at least a 10-second lead, and at the moment she's only got a 3-second lead on Team Blue Rising. So he has really got to pull away now and get some space so he can then take the long lap. But this is close, and it's going to be all down to the wire on that last long lap.
Brazil are in 5th place, but there's every chance they could still jump back in front of Miami because they have one more short lap to go as we look down then on the scene here at E1 Monaco. So Brazil 5th, may well jump in front of Miami because they've got a short lap to go. Katie Munnings has not yet done a short or a long lap in 3rd place. So does that mean she'll stay more or less where she is? That's my prediction, but we'll find out in the next 3 laps. We're halfway through this now as we ride with Blue Rising. Are we going to see a long lap from anybody here? Yes, we're going for the long lap. There's the green smart mark, and Micah Wilkinson with Drogba did not, so he's gone round on the standard lap as Blue Rising take the long lap. So the question is going to be now, first of all, can Blue Rising get back into some clear space? Where is Katie Munnings with Alula? She'll be around here somewhere. It looks as though it's going to be okay, doesn't it, for Blue Rising? Here comes Katie Munnings with Alula. I think Blue Rising are going to get it, Sherry, but it's going to be quite close in the merge point here.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tight there. I was actually watching Drogba when you were watching the boats for second and third behind. I would not have done the long lap there with Team Blue Rising. I would have stayed right with Drogba, right behind, waiting for them to sort of make a mistake, because now Drogba has now got a 18-second lead on Team Blue Rising, so he can do his long lap with quite a lot of ease.
It's certainly looking that way, isn't it? And it's almost up to 20 seconds now as they go through the latest checkpoint. On board then with Alula, and Katie's going to be waiting then for the last 2 laps. So that's the strategy then for LeBron James's Team Alula, and Katie Munnings there at the helm. She's got to do a long and short lap now. There's only 2 laps remaining. Which one is she going to do first? Will she do the long lap and risk dropping back into Brazil? If she does the short lap, she'll actually get ahead of briefly of Team Blue Rising, and that really would, I suggest, cement Drogba's victory in this race. We're on board now then with Micah Wilkinson, and again, this is the standard lap, so it's what you said, isn't it? He's waiting for the last lap to do the long lap. So now I think only Drogba can lose the race for Drogba. Unless there's a problem or a mistake, they should be okay. Now, what's Katie Munnings? She's taking the short lap, so temporarily Alula are going to be ahead of Team Blue Rising, but Alula still needs to do the long lap on the final tour. Let's see, though. I mean, can she gain enough time to do that long lap and get back in front of Team Blue Rising? I don't think it's going to be enough, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I think Drogba are home safe and sound on that for sure, and the rest of the fleet's different. Quite a different tactic, strategy for Alula there to do the long and short lap right at the end. Let's see if it pays off.
Katie's had a really good run, actually. That was one of the best short laps we've seen in the entire race so far. So this is definitely now your fight for the lead, but they both still need to take the long lap. What I'm going to be interested to see, Shelley, is how close will Alula be to Blue Rising when they come back in from their long lap. The gap at the moment between second and third is about 13 seconds. So the predictor, as you can see, based on the sector times and based on the gap between the two as we come through to the final lap, the predictor is calling it for Blue Rising. And looking down, I think that's right, because I don't think that's enough of a gap, is it, for Alula? But we're about to find out very, very soon indeed. Your top 2 will go around where the green arrows are there on the long lap, which itself is 1.5 kilometres, 200 metres longer than the standard lap. We're on board with Drogba. Didier Drogba, the Chelsea star, is here with their new boat this weekend after the collision of Maggiore last time out. Doha, incidentally, their only final appearance so far this season when they went on to finish third. So they'll be hoping for a second appearance in the final later on here this afternoon in Monaco.
Yeah, this should be a clean run home for Team Drogba, straight to the checkered flag, no problem. But what is going to happen between Alula and Team Blue Rising? That is going to be the interesting fight here. Who is going to come in first? Oh, I think Team Blue Rising might have just got it. Yes.
Just indeed. And Katie Munnings now will be on the boost. She's just used the boost, so you can see that the boost bar on the graphic at the top of the screen is charging back up. Katie already using some of that boost. Sarah Mizir has elected to wait and have more boost available to her. You use that by punching the button on the steering wheel, but we're closing in, aren't we? We're definitely closing in. Can Katie do anything about Sarah on the run down to that last corner?
Yeah, I would, we're looking for clean water everywhere. You can see Katie Munnings went out into the clean water there and didn't stay in the wash behind Team Blue Rising. She's just trying to look for that space all over the place, whereas Team Blue Rising are in the white wash all the time. She just needs to move to the left or right and get into a little bit of clean water, but I don't think anything's going to change.
Drogba over the line then, and they win, and that puts teammate Oban Duncan in the best lane for their last final later on. As you say, Blue Rising are second, Alula are third, and here comes Youssef. It's his first outing of the season for Brazil in fourth place, and then Miami struggles continuing. They've had some problems all season long, as Anna Glennon said to Alex in an interview here yesterday. There's Miami, here they are, coming round to finish this race. Some way behind, it has to be said, in 5th position. This is Mark Anthony's team.
Yeah, it's a real shame with Team Miami. We've definitely got a problem here. I mean, this is a one design class, so the racing is really quite close, neck and neck. And as you can see, 54 seconds behind the leaders. Something isn't right.
Yeah, well, we certainly know that the pilots are extremely capable. Anna Glennon and Eric Starr. Anna from the States and Eric from Sweden. And like we say, the tolerances are very close, but the gaps are very close as well. And you don't need to be too far behind to be out of the top positions. But that was perfect strategy, I would say, there for Micah Wilkinson and for Drogba. And Oban, who you, Shelley, know very well indeed, who's been coming up through the ranks pretty much as long as she can remember. She's still only 19 now, the youngest pilot in the field, and she will be in lane 1 for her final group stage race coming up shortly. Perfect teamwork there from Drogba.
Yeah, she will absolutely love that, and with her skill and determination and experience, even though at the young age of 19 she has years of experience. I have watched her career from, gosh, I think she was about 6 or 7 when I first met her, so she'll love to be in lane 1.
Okay, let's jump on board then with Drogba, because I'm sure Micah will be very pleased indeed. Micah, congratulations, great strategy, perfectly executed. I can tell you that Oban is smiling. She's very pleased with you.
Oh, that's great to hear. Can't wait to hand the boat over to her. She's a weapon.
Thanks very much, Micah. Good luck with the debrief, and we'll see Oban out shortly. Micah Wilkinson there, the Kiwi, the very successful, yeah, good afternoon, we'll see you in a bit, the New Zealand sailor. But this is what it's all about, isn't it? It's not just team communication between the team in the launch zone and in mission control and race control, where everybody's watching on, but the pilots as well, and they'll be chatting away with one another now. As soon as Micah gets out, we'll see Oban down there, and they'll be going into a mini debrief of their own, won't they?
Yeah, it's actually interesting, Greg, because if you look at the Team Brady, Sam is often talking to Emma during the race as well as mission control, but whether in Team Drogba, the pilots don't actually talk to each other during the race, which I find quite interesting, because the pilots are the people who know how to handle it the most out there. They're both experiencing the same thing, they're both experiencing the same course, but different protocols in each team.
There's the world famous yacht club of Monaco here in Port Hercule at Monte Carlo, and the rich and famous, well, they're here all year long, but particularly with E1 Monaco here this weekend. Up goes the hatch. Great stuff from Micah, and we know Oban will be overjoyed. She's with Alex now.
Oban, a round of applause there for Micah as he came back in. How good was that?
Yeah, it was amazing to get from second into first position for the next race. It set us up really well.
You were on the podium here last year. How much would you like to be there again, and how confident are you feeling you can be?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, podium last year was great, and I think with the performance we put out yesterday and today, we definitely could be up there.
Slowly adapting to this new boat, how's it feeling?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the boat feels great. Everything, we shook out all the problems yesterday, so yeah, we're feeling really good.
Oban, good luck, all the best today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you to Oban as well. And here's the first chance they get to have a little chat with one another. Oh, of course, the hug first of all. Let's not forget that. Definitely a lot more overcast, though, as you can see for yourself here today. We had glorious blazing sunshine, didn't we, Shelley? Although the wind was quite strong at points yesterday, up to 11 kilometres per hour. I can tell you it's, up to 19, I should say, yesterday. It's 11 now, so a lot calmer in terms of wind speed today. It dropped right down, actually, to 5 by the end of yesterday's proceedings. Danny Kloss there with his headphones on, probably listening to a Steve Aoki hit of his own. I wouldn't be at all surprised, something Aoki produced, but he gets himself in the zone. Everyone getting themselves in the zone, unless you're up on the super yachts, of course, and then you can have a glass of something nice in your hand and just enjoy E1 Monaco happening before you. And they're all up there, aren't they, this morning? Look at that.
Yeah, there's Rafa having a chat with Maurice Clary, I believe. He's having a little chinwag of who's going to probably placing their bets to see who's going to win today.
I wouldn't want to put money on it, actually, would you? If you asked me to go up into the casino in Monte Carlo later or put some sort of bet on E1 Monaco, I wouldn't want to predict it, because we've seen surprise after surprise, haven't we, at the last couple of rounds in particular. Just as you think everything's decided, it all turns on its head again.
It certainly does. And also the weather. You just spoke about the wind, Greg. You said that the wind has dropped, but the sea conditions have certainly not dropped. They are a lot choppier from yesterday.
Alex, back down to you.
Sarah, how satisfied can you be with your start to the day?
It was a good start. It was shockingly way worse than yesterday in terms of how rough it was. It was the first time I actually dove the boat, so that was nice. I got to tell a fish hello, so that was good. But it was a really enjoyable race. I was side by side with Micah in the Drogba boat, and he drove a great aggressive race, and it was me and him on the first lap, so that was a lot of fun. So interesting to go into the next final. John will be taking charge of the boat next, so heads up and on that.
You say the conditions are difficult. Just how different are they to yesterday? In what way? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Oh, the waves out there are much higher. The swells are much wider. So it's a matter of having to time it. And sometimes it's like every lap the chop was different. So it's about adaptability and just keeping that boat on full as much as you can, because in these conditions it's close to none.
Does it feel more competitive than ever?
It does, because with it being so rough, you just feel like you're wasting so much time, and you don't know if you're porpoising because your trim's too high or because you've just lost a wave from underneath you. And it's everyone's on edge and everyone's fighting tooth and nail to find that one little bit of stretch where you can get it on foil and get that speed. So it's absolutely been a challenge out there, but it's great for the competition.
How much belief is there in the Team Blue Rising camp?
Absolutely. There's always 110% belief here, because these boys, they put their heart and soul in it. So do I, so does John. So it's all smiles ahead going into the next group stage race.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everything.
And thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, Sarah, 27 years of age now, and less than a decade ago had to overcome tremendous adversity when she damaged her skull and her jaw when they were fractured when she fell from her horse. Very successful race car driver there from Jamaica. So, Shelley, let's look back then at the highlights of the second of these 4 group races. This one, of course, was to determine the starting order for the 4th group race when their teammates get out later on. One of the closest starts, I think it's fair to say, in the whole of E1 all year long so far. Everybody very clean indeed, but even by the end of that first lap, the whole field was still locked together.
Yeah, and it was a very tight start for Drogba there. They were literally seconds off of that green flag. I want to say about 2 seconds. So, you know, that was a perfect start for them. It could have gone wrong. They could have had to back off and they would have lost it completely. But yeah, nice clean start by everybody. Everyone's getting better at these starts, Greg. And I think that's where the competition is really rising.
Yes, we see them practicing, don't we, across the practice sessions on the run-up to the weekend, although there was a little bit of a delay actually here on Thursday when the whole of Lower Monte Carlo had a power cut, so that delayed some of the E1 action for a while as well. So even external influences like that, when the whole of Lower Monaco was plunged into darkness briefly, can cause problems. On board then on this particular replay with Team Blue Rising, this is Drogba. Amazing side-by-side action. They swapped positions, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times in the first 60 seconds or so of that race, and not once did they make contact. It was really clean, really fair racing there, wasn't it?
It was masterful piloting, I want to call it that. They were literally neck and neck, but they kept each other's space. I would imagine after yesterday's incident, I'm sure they all went into a briefing this morning, the pilots, with the race director, and I think he might have had a little bit of a word to say, okay, you lot, we'd like all the boats in one piece by the end of the day and some nice clean racing, please, and no more drama, because I don't think we needed any more drama after yesterday.
Also, Sarah in the interview with Alex was talking about some lurid moments with the boat as well, wasn't she?
Yeah, she actually called it a dive, and that's what I would call a trip and stuff. So basically it's when the boat comes out of the water, the back of the boat would land first, which automatically pushes the bow of the boat in and under the water. And as she said hello to the fish. That's exactly what she's talking about, a trip and stuff and dive. But yeah, well done. She survived it.
Okay, let's get down then to Alex with Sam Coleman, who was involved in some drama with an ice pool with Lucas Ordonez last night.
Sam, it was a great start to the day from Emma. Now your turn. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. Conditions have got a bit choppier since this morning. It looked flat calm, and it might be a calm day, but it's picked up a little bit. So last race looked pretty tough. Looking forward to getting out there, trying to keep it clean and repeat what Emma did.
How do you change your approach with conditions like that?
Well, we don't get a sighting lap, so we kind of have a setup in mind for certain conditions, but might get out there and have to start moving things around in terms of how we trim the boat and that. So first lap could be a bit of a suck it and see, and then hopefully find a rhythm after that, but give it a good send.
You are the reigning champions. How confident are you feeling you can be up there again?
We started slow and we're building with momentum. So, I mean, we're always confident in our team's capability to be on the podium, and we just need to follow the plan and stay clean and hope we get there at the end of the day.
With Tom watching on?
Yeah, it's great to have Tom here again, obviously. It's always nice having him here, and he swung by the pits yesterday afternoon and we had a good chat for ages. It was good catching up, and we'll see him shortly after the race too.
Good luck, thank you.
Great, thanks.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Alex. Well, that was Sam Coleman there for Team Brady. And of course, he is a veteran racer in offshore powerboat racing, and he will love the rough water.
So the second of the 4 group races complete, with Drogba leading the way there, thanks to Micah Wilkinson. Open Duncan, as we heard, delighted to be in the best lane for her next appearance. Not the next race, but the one after that, because now we'll revert to the previous lot of teams. Blue Rising, Alula, Brazil, and Miami with work to do. Problems for them here in Monte Carlo this weekend. So it is hazy, isn't it, there, as we look across the world-famous hills where Rally Monte Carlo takes place annually, traditionally, of course, the start of the season for the World Rally Championship. But we see off-road here, we see Formula One racing around the streets. They've been racing here in Monaco one way or another almost for 100 years now. The first Monaco Grand Prix was 1929, and it's nice to see E1 returning here as well. This is one of the venues we also had on the calendar in the inaugural season of 2024. Shelley Jury-Lee is with us here in the commentary box. How are the conditions looking to you now then? I can tell you that the wind speed is just shy of 15 kilometres per hour. It doesn't look too bad, but everyone's been saying that it's rough out there so far today.
It doesn't look too bad from this angle and this shot from our camera, but when the race birds actually get out there, you can see they are struggling to keep them in a straight line up on the foils. It's really tough for the pilots out there. It's very deceiving, I have to say. Now here, look, we've got a super yacht here, and you can actually see quite close up. That is not flat calm. And a super yacht doesn't get affected, but that is rocking and rolling there.
Ooh, so maybe a bit of a seasick situation. You want to maintain some motion, don't you? Certainly from my small experience with powerboats, Shelley, when you're still and rocking around, it doesn't feel very nice. I'd rather keep going, even if it's slowly. Just keep moving, please.
I'll let you into a secret. I can race a powerboat, but I actually get seasick.
Do you really? Honestly?
I absolutely do. If you put me on a ferry, forget it.
Oh, it's okay. They're flat bottomed, aren't they, ferries? Yeah, well, I've had some horrible experiences with the Bay of Biscay as well over the years on the run down there towards Bilbao and Santander. Well, there you are. Shelley Jury-Lee gets seasick. Who would have believed it? Another exclusive there then for E1. Absolutely crucial point in the proceedings now here at E1 Monaco. This is round 5 of 7 for 2025. It's the UIM E1 World Championship presented by PIF. Where are we as Emma Kymäläinen watches on for Team Brady? She's done her bit, and now her teammate Sam Coleman is all set for action. Another 6 laps ahead of us. There'll be 4 boats on the water. And why is this so crucial? Because at the end of this next group race, the winner is put straight into the final. Whoever is last in this next race will go into the place race and therefore will avoid a spot in the final. The other 2 will be in the race-off later on for one last opportunity, but let's not overcomplicate things. The crucial thing is whoever wins this next race is straight into the final later today, when 38 points will be available. This is the situation then. We've had Stage A, now it is Stage B, so all of the teams switch to their other pilots, predetermined before the start of the day. at least for Brady, Westbrook, Aoki and Rafa, who are up next. And don't forget, Rafa are the championship leaders, and they have a different boat after a crash yesterday. At least for all of them, there's one less boat on the water, with 4 of them getting ready to go here. Very choppy conditions, though, here at Monte Carlo. So this is Brady. They won last time out. The first win of the season for the team who won the championship in 2024. Tom Brady is here, incidentally. They also had 3 wins last year, including here at Monte Carlo. Shelley, you were talking about this in our coverage on Friday, that it's very, very cool. What did you say? 20, maybe even up to 30 degrees hotter in the cockpits than the ambient temperature. That's why Sam was trying to keep cool there.
Yeah, Sam had his air conditioning unit there, his personal air conditioning unit. Yeah, it is. I mean, you've got to bear in mind what they've got on. They have probably got some fireproof underwear on underneath, so like a complete underwear set. Then they've got fireproof overalls on top. They've then got a full life jacket from the tops of their legs right up to their shoulders, which has got some sort of foam or plastic in it. So, you know, we're really dressed for winter in there. Put a crash helmet on top. They're even wearing gloves, for goodness sake. Close the canopy, and you are in a little, well, you might as well be in a microwave oven, to be honest. It will be very, very warm in there. Add your adrenaline and your pressure to all of that, and your excitement, and yeah, it's a hot box.
Yeah, I guess when the adrenaline's flowing, you don't feel it, do you? And then as soon as you step out, it must just hit you. So at least there's a little bit of a breeze here. But the ambient temperature is still right up there, nudging on 27 degrees Celsius here in Monaco.
And I would imagine quite humid as well.
Definitely. I mean, look at the haze you can see there in front of the trees. Some fantastic real estate there up on the hill in the background. So everybody is getting ready to get underway, and Alex has been getting all of the latest for us down there on the ground.
Carlos, thank you so much for speaking to us. It's Coral Awareness Week next week. Can you talk to us about the great work that you're doing?
Yeah, so the corals are under crisis. We have lost already more than 2/3 of global coral reefs, and in the last 2 years alone, we've lost 30% of living corals. So we really need to mobilize society towards conserving and restoring corals. And that's a journey where E1 is making strides, because both E1 with a partnership with CORDAP is helping develop new technologies to be able to restore and conserve coral reefs. The teams are also involved, and Westbrook Racing and also our Aoki team are already supporting coral conservation projects. And last week we were able also to visit the Monaco Science Center, where we saw some of the coral conservation projects that are being funded by CORDAP to the Monaco Science Center, and also the engagement of pilots and teams with the visit help to publicize the work that we are doing.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.
You too. Enjoy it.
Thanks, Carlos.
Thank you very much indeed, Alex, with Professor Carlos Duarte there, who is the chief scientist for E1. And I'm sure he's been having a very interesting and intriguing chat as well with His Serene Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco, who obviously is here overseeing the event, because he also himself, Prince Albert, is a long-time champion of marine sustainability. And his vision, as he was saying before the weekend, very much aligns with what E1 are doing with their mission to raise awareness of ocean preservation and conservation. I mentioned before that the smart marks, for example, are not anchored to the seabed or the lake bed as it was at Lago Maggiore last time out in Italy. And that, Shelley, is a very, very important part of E1, isn't it? And what this is all about. Yes, fantastic entertainment for us, some terrific racing so far in a spectacular and world-famous setting, but these are all, of course, electric machines. This is all about looking after the planet as well as providing a great show.
Yeah, I absolutely love the smart marks. It was really great. In one of the races, forgive me, I've forgotten which one it was, but one of the smart marks went rogue, yes, and it just started wandering off on its own. Its GPS satellite obviously dropped out, but it did entertain us. But yeah, the desired position for the smart marks is actually entered via a web-based application, and the buoy moves to its place completely independently, and then 2 electric motors keep it autonomously in its position, and it can keep it there for 24 hours. It's incredible. Obviously, we don't leave the marks out all night because I think they'd have a little party in the middle of the night on their own. We pull them all in every evening for safekeeping because they're not cheap, but they are just an incredible innovation that E1, the E1 series has taken on and developed.
They're like little movie characters. They even have, would you believe, their own Instagram page, Boys of E1 on Instagram. It's very entertaining. They're little characters of their own. They're like minions or something like that. They're all different colours because if you look out there, and it's very important actually, although we're joking about it, in terms of the colours, you have the standard yellow and red smart marks. You also have the blue for the short lap, and as we said earlier on, green smart marks to identify where the long lap is. That helps the pilots as well, doesn't it, to look for these colours when they're thinking about their strategy. Do I need to do a short lap, standard lap, or a long lap? They're looking out for these colours from on board.
Yeah, and of course, as in all UIM powerboat racing rules, red denotes a left-hand turn and yellow denotes a right-hand turn. And that is a standard sort of rule across powerboating internationally.
And we did see Westbrook, didn't we, right here with Sarah Price earlier on. So easily done, but just went inside one of the smart marks when she should have gone around the outside. We saw Michael Alabadan doing the same thing, took the wrong route at Lago Maggiore last time out. Not long to go now then, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. Now, 4 minutes to go until the next race gets underway. Their lane positions have been decided by the performances of their teammates in their earlier group race earlier on, about 20 minutes ago now. Rafa with a different livery. That's a spare boat for them. There was a big incident yesterday when Brazil were right up behind a Lula, and Brazil just got caught out on the wake and slammed into the side of Tom Chapp's Rafa boat, which wasn't far off sinking. So thank goodness the rescue team are out there and they kept it towing to make sure it didn't sink. And Rafa all ready to go. Look how close the teams are as well to one another. They've all been given allocated spots here. A perfect view across the harbour. And of course, they're seeing the same pictures that we're seeing here on the TV as well.
Now, of course, when they take their long lap and short lap, they will try and do that as discreetly as possible and not let the team next to them know. It's quite cutthroat in that mission control.
That's a good point. So do you think they're making sort of hand signals or whispering across the radio? But yeah, because I mean, that could absolutely change the outcome of the race, couldn't it, if your rivals know what you're about to do?
Oh yeah, it will definitely be hand signals, and it will be secretly spoken into the microphone without anyone knowing. Okay,
intriguing stuff then. Don't forget there's a place in the final up for grabs in this very race. Here we go then in Monte Carlo. Whoever wins this is in the final. Whoever is fourth will be out of the final and in the place race. 4 lanes. Lane 1 is on the inside. That's where you want to be, but you need to time the start well also. So Tom Chapp here, the Frenchman. He's the youngest male pilot in the race at 25 years of age from Rouen in France. And he's one of 10 pilots who've done all of the E1 events so far since the series started last year. For the start, on the left of Tom will be this man, Dani Clos from Barcelona in Spain. He's had success here in Monaco on 4 wheels. What can he do now on 2 foils? He's in lane 3 with boats on either side. Lucas Ordóñez made the 14-hour drive a few days ago in his Kia road car from Madrid to Monte Carlo. Absolutely amazing performance. On his first lap of the weekend, he got into the top 5 after electrical problems. I can tell you they've just sorted out some new problems with this race bird. Brady, they won last time out at Lago Maggiore. They won here in Monaco last year as well. They are your reigning champions. Emma's done all she can. What can the Welshman, Sam Coleman, do now? Can he get straight through to the final? Here we go again then, Shelley, and this is where we need to look out for those smart marks with the different colours. Short lap, standard lap and long lap. They're all available here.
They are, and it's a real strategy of when you take those laps. As you can see, it can completely mess up the order.
And just a reminder, that left-right chicane-esque part of the course off the start is not used on the opening lap. That's what's known as the start shoot. That will be used. The left-right from lap 2 onwards. Also, you cannot do a long or short lap on lap 1. Now, don't go too soon. Look at those dark clouds. Those clouds are getting lower, aren't they, over the hills here in Monte Carlo. They've timed this. 12 seconds to go. If anybody goes before the green flag drops from the marshal's boat, which you will see at the bottom of the screen, they would be given a penalty. Look out for a yellow flag. It needs to be green to have a clean start. They'll be fine though, because we hit 0 now. The green flag drops. Westbrook has the advantage on the run down towards turn 1. 6 laps ahead of us here in group race number 3. Whoever wins it is straight into the final here at E1 Monaco later on this afternoon. Brady, your reigning champions, with the advantage. Not for long. Westbrook there, Lucas Ordóñez using the boost and shoots ahead, but we're coming up to the pinch point down at turn 1.
Yes, I knew Sam Coleman wouldn't let that hope, and yes, yeah, he goes into the lead as he's cornered. As I said, experienced racer in offshore. He will love these conditions out there. This is perfect for him. On board here with Aoki, and we've got Rafa in the new livery on the outside. They don't seem to be as comfortable as they usually are in their normal boat, but Brady here, still in the lead. That's exactly where Sam will want to be. But look at Westbrook, right up there behind him.
Well, whichever of these two at the moment in 3rd or 4th finishes behind will not get to the final. They'll be straight into the place race later on, but there's a long way to go. We've still got strategy coming up with short and long laps, but look at that gap already between Sam Coleman at the front and Tom Chapp at the back of the field. As you say, Shelley, Rafa have work to do, but it's very much a damage limitation exercise for them after the crash here, which I have to say was not their fault yesterday. On board now with Westbrook, and we are piling the pressure. This is Lucas Ordóñez and his good mate Sam Coleman. There was all sorts of antics yesterday when Lucas was trying to cool off in an ice pool and Sam decided to jump in and join him, which caused all sorts of hilarity. It's all over Instagram, but this is far more serious now as we get into lap 2. Will anybody take a short or long lap? This is your first opportunity.
Well, I would say that both these boats may take their short lap, but I tell you what, that Westbrook racing boat has definitely got some speed on Brady. Every time Brady's on the boost and trying to get away from Westbrook, Westbrook catches him up, and we've got a change of lead here. Lucas has gone into the lead in Westbrook. This is so close. Look at them. They're just not giving a gap to either. Yet, as we predicted, Westbrook and Brady both taking the short lap. They will not want to lose each other there. They are both fighting for that clean water and lead position.
Oh, this is absolutely great racing. Rafa have taken their short lap. Aoki, you can see in the background the pink and blue boat with the Dragon livery, riding the Dragon on that boat with Danny Kloss. As you can see, he's taken his long lap right up against the super yacht there where all of the team owners are watching on. So this is your fight for the lead. They've each, as Shelley has already described, we were on board as it happened, done the short lap.
Yes, but Westbrook is pulling away. As I said, they've just got that extra speed there. Sam will not be happy with that. He will be desperately trying to close that gap down. Now, will Sam go and do his long lap now and get it out the way, as he has lost the sort of fight with Westbrook?
Yes, because Sam, with Brady in second place, he's still in the wake, isn't he, of Lucas and Westbrook at the moment, as we look back into the cockpit of Lucas Ordóñez. Almost a smile on his face there, and he's got every reason to be smiling. There's the yellow smart mark. As you've said, Shelley, you have to go to the left of the yellow ones, to the right of the red ones, flat on the throttle. He's adjusting the trim as he goes. They've obviously made their propeller choice, their prop choice before the weekend, and you see the red marks this time. So this is a standard lap. He's not taken the long lap. The question is, will Sam Brady do so? No, he doesn't. So at the moment then, he's following his good mates. They both did the short lap together. They're both doing standard laps together, and we're halfway through at the end of this one. Rafa, as you can see, are still third, and Aoki actually coming up alongside Rafa. Close fight there. We're on board now, looking across from Steve Aoki's boat to Rafa Nadal's machine, side by side for 3rd and 4th. But look, Tom Chapp is peeling off. In fact, has he got a problem? I think he has. He has got a problem. Rafa are in trouble. I thought that was more spectacular than a long lap. And Rafa, this is the championship leaders. This is major drama then here in the group races at E1 Monaco. Rafa with a spare boat today after a crash on Friday, and they are retiring. They are not in the final. Hopefully they'll still get through to be able to run in the place race, but Shelley, this is big drama, and this is going to potentially completely shake up the championship now.
This is dreadful for Rafa. I have no idea what's happened. They do seem to be still under power, so why are they coming in? Let's hope Alex can catch up with them in the pits and find out what's going on. But Westbrook pulling away here. Surprised that Brady didn't do their long lap at that point and get that done, as he had lost the sort of gap between him and Westbrook. But they obviously know what they're doing, an experienced team in mission control, let's hope.
Well, it never rains, but it pours for Rafa, and we know that Tom Chow, he was chatting with Alex actually before we went on air earlier this morning and described that he's got a bit of a stiff neck, so it's got even worse now and out of this race. We're with Westbrook. Look how the clouds are descending. This is the standard lap again. I'm looking at our information here in the commentary box, and I can tell you that Brady are now doing the long lap, so maybe Sam's listening to your commentary because Coleman is doing the long lap and he's going to try and gain some time as he drops out of the wake. So you'll see the lead increase, but on the final 2 laps, of course, the red Westbrook Racebird, here it is, leading at the moment, still needs to do a long lap. Danny Kloss is in a distant third at the moment with Aoki. They've had a couple of difficult rounds after winning 2 of them earlier on in the year. So Danny a distant third. He's not going to be going straight through to the final. Will it be Westbrook or will it be Brady? Here is Danny Kloss. Doesn't look particularly aggravated, but they just haven't really had the speed. But we do know, Shelley, we were talking about it yesterday, weren't we? A few personnel changes in that team for Aoki this weekend, and Masha was certainly saying it's making a difference, so maybe that's just where they're losing a fraction there.
Yeah, it can upset the team when you change your principles. You're used to them, you're used to the way they work and how they're calling the strategy, and it's not ideal, but everyone else has their other sports and careers that they've got to keep going. So we've got some of the principals off racing in F2 at the moment. So on board here with Westbrook, who are pulling away. They've actually got a 14-second lead on Brady, so they are home pretty safe and sound. Sam needs to close that gap so that when Westbrook does their long lap, he can actually gain the lead again, but it's going to be tight.
It is, and he is closing the gap. He is closing the gap. It's just come down to 12.5 seconds. It was 14 seconds not so long ago, and I can tell you that our high-tech predictor here is saying that Brady will lead this race. Lucas has gone on to the standard lap again, so he's going to take the long lap on the last lap. But look, it's down to 11.3 now. We don't want to jinx this, but it looks as though as Westbrook, and they're struggling to get through there as well, aren't they? There's the prediction, look. In fact, even Aoki are going to be ahead of Westbrook if it stays like this, according to the predictor, because they still have to do a short lap. So when you combine that together, this is by no means clear-cut for Westbrook Racing.
Aoki are on their short lap now, so this is all going to get very, very tight. And the seconds are going down and down. Has Westbrook got a problem? Look, Sam Coleman's down to 8 seconds now.
Well, remember what we said yesterday? They had electrical problems. We were chatting with the team this morning as well. They had more electrical problems with the wiring loom. They reckon they've got it fixed, but he is not quite coasting. But Lucas is definitely losing speed here, and it's looking extremely good for Brady. I guess the question now, because they're certainly going to lose the lead, never mind the lead, will they even be able to hold second place, or is Danny Kloss going to be able to jump them? And Danny, actually, according to the graphics, has not yet done that short lap. So 6th and final lap starts now, and here's the situation. The red boat in the lead needs to do the long lap. The pink and blue boat at the bottom of your screen will do the short lap, and then the gold boat of Brady will do the standard lap. Here is Kloss. He's just coming through the last corner. He's not going to win this race, but there's certainly a chance he's going to jump ahead of Westbrook. Look at that. Brady's already on the back, Shelley, of Westbrook, even before they've done their long lap. So Lucas now pulls out to the right. He'll do the long lap, and Brady then will come through and take the lead. The question is, who's going to be second? Is it going to be Westbrook, or is it going to be Aoki?
Our celebrities on the super yacht there have got the most amazing view of this. This is going to be so tight as they come round, but I have to say it, I think Brady's got it.
Brady's definitely got it now as Sam navigates his way back towards the checkered flag. Not long to go now, about 30 seconds or so. There he is. Now watch Aoki on the short lap in the middle of the picture. They're going to do it, aren't they? They're going to get ahead of Westbrook. Surely it's the electrical problems that have come back to haunt Westbrook. At least Lucas will make the end and he'll be able to go through the race off later on. Their chances of the final haven't gone yet. great run to the end of the race as well, I have to say, for Danny Kloss. He's catching Sam, although I guess Sam is just taking it easy now with Brady, relatively speaking. As Brady, our reigning champions, won in Italy 3 weeks ago, their first victory of 2025. They won here in Monaco last year as well. Great last lap though for Danny Kloss. He's not given up as the gap comes down to just over 5 seconds, but this is the team to beat, whether it's Emma Kymäläinen or Sam Coleman himself. Over the line go Brady, and they are into the final, and they will be overjoyed. Sam is very experienced, but I think it's exactly what you said before, Shelly. He's got all of that He's got all that experience, hasn't he, with the power boats and the endurance racing and changeable conditions. Westbrook over the line. Look, so bad is the movement that it's actually knocked the onboard camera out of position, and that's why we're looking further down than we normally would be. Oh dear, I think Lucas's face sums up his mood. He's absolutely furious. He's done so well as well as a pilot, but nothing he could have done about that. He had a great start, great lead, and the problems have come back to affect him. But yeah, all of that offshore experience I was just about to say has really paid off, hasn't it, there for Sam Coleman in terms of adapting to ever-changeable conditions. Great win for Brady.
I just loved that race. That was such tactical positioning. Here we have Tom Schaap, who is clearly not happy. He's thrown his inside helmet cover there down. You can see he's absolutely gutted. Oh, what a sight. He is so despondent there. Let's hope Alex can maybe go down and just have a little chat with him and just see what actually happened out there to the boat.
Yeah, and the reason is, of course, they're not in the final, are they? The championship leaders will not be in the final, so they're going to score 12 points at best, while those in the final will score 38 potentially if they win. Wow, surprise after surprise. There's still rain in the air as well. Danny Kloss with Aoki Racing. That was close. Great final 2 laps there, sir.
Final 2 laps there, sir.
Yeah, not bad, but not enough. At the beginning, I lost too much in the first lap. I don't know how they did it, but they pulled away like many meters. And yeah, after I could just do a different strategy and try to be clean all the time. Anyway, it's okay. It's okay.
Thanks very much. Good luck with the rest of the day until the race-off, of course, next for you. As Danny makes his way back in towards the launch zone now. Look at that parking for that particular car. That's a pretty exclusive place to be, isn't it? As you make your way down into the world-famous Porticule here at Monte Carlo. But look at those clouds. Look at those clouds closing in on the mountains. But great news for Brady. Emma Kymäläinen was watching as we were, and they are in the final. She now is with Alex Aljo.
Emma, what a win, what a race. Pole now for final 1. Just how good was that?
Yeah, that was very good. Good job from Sam and the whole team. Obviously, you know, it just shows that with the strategy, and then you need to have the pace throughout the whole race. Very tricky conditions to everyone, and you can just lose so much within 1 lap only if you just, you know, get stuck with the wakes and stuff. So, yeah, very proud of Sam, and happy to have pole for the final 1.
What was the strategy going into that?
Just execute it as well as possible. You know, like with these conditions, you just need to be adaptive. That's the only way to do it. And yeah, Sam executed it perfectly.
How do you adapt that strategy to final 1?
Well, you know, we just need to check on the conditions. I don't think it's going to get any better, to be honest. Yeah, you just need to drive and do everything you can.
Does it feel like this could be Team Brady's weekend?
Well, hopefully. But there are still 2 races to go, so let's not celebrate too much. And we'll take the learnings from that one and trying to execute our best on the finals.
Emma, good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. And as you so rightly say as well, it's not just into the final, but it's pole for final 1 as well with the best lane position. And Lucas is absolutely furious. We've just heard from the team, actually, that he had no boost, and that will have made a massive difference. He's done such a great job so far this weekend to get through into the top 5 in the qualifying time trials on Friday. A livid Lucas Ordóñez there. And almost, I mean, talk about snatching defeat, Shelley, from the jaws of victory. That, unfortunately, was a perfect example, because look how well it was going for the red boat at the start.
He executed the start to perfection. He got in the lead. He had a battle with Brady, which was absolutely great. Him and Sam battled around for like nearly 2 laps, back and forth, back and forth. He pulled away, he got the lead, and then it just all fell apart for him.
It certainly did, and they had a perfect position, didn't they? Sam on the inside at this point. Great onboard pictures here as we look across the top of Steve Aoki's boat. That's the Will Smith Westbrook machine in the middle, and diving at the inside goes Sam Brady's golden black liveried Racebird with, on this occasion, Sam Coleman on board. For final one, they'll now switch back to their other pilot. So Emma Kimalainen, who we've just heard from with Alex, will do final one, and she will try and get the best lane position for Sam as he goes into final 2 later, which is when those all-important points and the overall event victory is up for grabs. This is the moment when Rafa retired from the race. They must be gutted, Shelley, especially when it's not a pilot error, because you've only got yourself to blame if you make a mistake. In this situation, there's nothing Tom Chap can do but try and get back as quickly as possible and hopefully for them fix the problem. This is when the camera's been knocked down for Lucas Ordóñez because of the choppy conditions here. But look, he doesn't know what to do. I've got no boost. You can actually see him there, some lip reading. He's saying I've got no boost because we've just heard from the team that he lost the boost, and that really would make all the difference, wouldn't it? That's a real part of it. Well, you've seen they've lost a race as a result of having no boost there.
I mean, obviously the boats are all run by electrics. Now, have the rough conditions knocked something out or a wire off that allows for the boost to come through? It could be the rough conditions that have really sort of are beating the boats up a little bit. But why Rafa? I mean, they seem to be under full power as they left the course. I'd be really interested to find out what the problem was there.
Yeah, well, they've had a late night and an early start, Rafa, but this is Westbrook in the meantime. We have seen a lot of problems, haven't we? And I can't help but feel that the conditions are having an effect. How close did this get? Look at that. Was that contact there? That was Westbrook and Brady earlier on in the race when they were both doing the short lap. That was when they both took that short lap. Lap 2, I think it was, wasn't it? That was very, very close indeed. They did well to get away with it. I've got to say, though, that was such respect that the two friends there, Ordóñez and Coleman, showed one another. Even if that was a touch, it was the lightest of touches. And they were so fair with one another. As the checkered flag goes out, round of applause from Emma and the rest of the Brady squad. They really do have the momentum at the moment, don't they, after a tricky start to the season as the reigning champions. So Brady are straight through to the finals. Rafa will not be in the final. Aoki and Westbrook will be in the race-off with one more chance to get through to the final here at E1 Monaco later on this afternoon. We still have one more group race coming up shortly to find out the second of the crews to join Brady in that final. Shelley, what do you make of it so far? We've said it's very difficult to read. A quick update on the weather, just nudging on 27 degrees Celsius. Ambient temperature, humidity, as you can see, is up to almost 70% now as those clouds continue to come down on Monaco. This is quite normal, I will say, for Monte Carlo with the close proximity of the hills, and those clouds tend to just hang, don't they, in the hills here overlooking the Principality. But very difficult to call. I mean, we've seen some mistakes. We've seen people with penalties. We've seen no jump starts, thankfully, but people going the wrong way, missing smart marks. The celebrities watching on have certainly been given more than their fair share of action so far. I think it's fair to say Brady have the advantage. They're the favourites. But in terms of second downwards, I really would not want to call this.
Yeah, I think if I was going to put my bet on now, I would definitely go for Brady. But what a great race we've just seen. They were dicing for position. The strategy was so important. It was just really, they were pushing them to the limit. Westbrook and Brady, neck and neck they were, and it was some great racing to watch. And just the change of positions all the time, which just makes great entertainment for everybody.
This is Drogba. They, like Brazil, have a new boat. If you are joining us here for the first time this weekend, there was a big collision. You've probably seen it, actually, because it went quite viral, didn't it, on social media between Drogba and Brazil last time out in Italy. So they have new boats here. It's RB11, this one, and then RB12 for Brazil. This is the Team Blue Rising Racebird, number 5, as you can see. for Sarah Mizir, and this is John Peters now, her teammate being pushed back, ready to go out. If he wins, he's through to the final. That's what he is aiming to do in this fourth and final group race here at Monte Carlo. This is E1 Monaco, where your reigning champions, who also won here in Monte Carlo, here they are last year, are through to the final. We have one more now, fourth and final group race of the afternoon to take place. Who will join them in the final? That's the big question. So after one group race earlier on, this is now stage B, so we still have Drogba, Blue Rising, Alula, the new team for this season, Brazil and Miami. Whoever wins this next race will join Brady in the final. If you're fifth, you're not in the final. The rest of them will be in the race-off. Well, all of the celebrity team owners, pretty much all of them are here. Mark Anthony's certainly here, and he caught up just a short time ago with our very own Alex Aljo.
Right, firstly, Mark, how happy are you to be here in Monaco, supporting your team?
English accent. Oh man, I'm great. I'm had a concert last night. We got up at like 5:30, 6 in the morning. Just landed. Didn't even see the hotel. Just came straight here to talk to the team. We're excited about what's to come, right? It's about just overcoming adversity, and we've had a lot of challenges this season. And I'm confident that the team did everything possible to change it up and change it around.
Quite a few other team owners here. LeBron James just down there with you. How much do you love the rivalry? Do you like the trash talk?
Yeah, bro. They could all kiss my ass, man. Right? When it comes down to competition, it's competition. But when it's time to have a beer, they're the best crew to have a beer with and just sit back and relax. Love them all, respect them all. If you stop and you think about, the years of experience and between all of us, and we've given our life to what we do. And now we're all collectively passionate about the same thing. If you stop and you think about it, I had zero in common with Tom Brady while he's throwing a football, and I have a microphone in my hand, and I'm 2 feet tall, and he's 18 feet tall, and he's gorgeous, and I look like this. We had nothing in common other than we're American. But we found something in common with E1, and it's an equal playing field. It could be anybody's day. LeBron, the same thing. Will, the same thing. Love them all dearly, but I want them all to lose. That's plain and simple.
Mark, thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
Alex, thank you. That was one of the best interviews we've had in 1.5 years of E1 so far. That's amazing. The Grammy Award winner, Mark Anthony, singer and actor. Great interview there. He means business, doesn't he, here at E1 Monaco. Fantastic. Of course, he owns Team Miami, and his man Eric Stark there will be in lane 5, just alongside Brazil. Alula in the middle, Blue Rising with John Peters, probably the best starter in the whole field, lane 2, and Drogba with Oban Duncan in the pole position. Well, if Sweden's Eric Stark isn't feeling motivated with Mark Anthony here, he never will be. He's going to be in lane 5. He'll be on the right-hand side, on the outside, on the run down towards the left-handed first corner. But they did have problems here in practice. Marit Stromoy from Norway, thankfully, absolutely fine after a collision here with Rafa in the qualifying time trials on Friday. Brand new boat this weekend for Team Brazil. They're in lane 4. Rusty Wyatt and Team Alula, championed by LeBron James, were just ahead of that incident yesterday. What can the Canadian do? He's in the trickiest position in many ways, right in the middle of the pack. 5 boats in total. He is in lane 3. Mr. Fast Starter himself from America, John Peters, went straight to Menorca off the back of Lago Maggiore 3 weeks ago to celebrate his birthday and a holiday there. Very, very chilled out indeed, it has to be said, even more so than usual this weekend. He's in lane 2. And 2 Johns left in lane 1 will be the Scottish hotshot, 19-year-old Oban Duncan, who's been on the water pretty much for as long as she can remember extremely confident as well with Team Drogba this weekend. Incidentally, that Drogba boat, like Brazil, is a new race bird here after the collision for Oban back at Lago Maggiore. Shelley, here's the lap.
And yes, this is the standard lap that we're looking at here, which is the white dotted line going around your screen. We then have a long lap, which is the green mark, a short lap, which is the blue marks, and they have to take one long lap, one short lap in amongst their 6 laps. When they take it, it's very strategic and very important. As we've just seen in the last race, it can change the whole group finishing.
Shelley, you know Oban Duncan well. They've not actually yet won a group stage race this season. Will that put any more pressure then on Drogba? Oh, and problems already for John Peters and Team Blue Rising. I said he's usually the best starter, but he's not got away at all. So John Peters, can he get going? If he's stuck for 30 seconds, he'll have to be recovered. 4 of them then away. More drama. He has just about got going, look, thank goodness. In the background, he's a long way back though as they make their way down towards turn 1. So Blue Rising in some trouble there. It's Oban Duncan from lane 1 with Drogba. She's got the advantage. Brazil, the green and yellow boat closest to us. Just tucking in is Alula, and that is Rusty Wyatt safely on the inside. And Miami are closest to us, but Blue Rising definitely with an issue there, weren't they? Further back, everybody away and down towards turn 1. So luckily John Peters has got away in the end, Shelley, but not the start he wanted.
Well, no, and exactly what you were saying. Oban Duncan did an amazing start there in Team Drogba. Yes, she's a very confident racer and she has shown it to us. She's taken the lead. Yes, the conditions are definitely as rough as they were before, if not more. You can see the engine moving there on the back of Drogba. That just goes to show how bad the conditions are that these race birds are trying. The E1 race bird obviously prefers the flatter water up onto the foils, but these conditions are going to be tough for them. But Drogba are still definitely in the lead and getting a nice shot there with the clean water.
Look at this, John Peters with Team Blue Rising. He seemed to drop back at the start. We know he's normally holding back. Looked like he'd held back a bit too much today, but he shot back through. We thought for a moment he might not even start. Would you believe it? At the end of lap 1, he's up into 2nd place. Miami look as though they're in trouble again, and now he's in the lead. John Peters from America. It must be that Menorca holiday he had after Lago Maggiore. Well, happy birthday again, John. You're in the lead. How on earth did he manage to do that as we move into lap 2, side by side with Oban Duncan? Oh, and did you see Oban there with the bow of the boat dipping down into the water? She's definitely lost momentum. This is the first time we're going to see potentially short or long laps. That is an amazing lap though, Shelley, for John Peters. I'll be very interested to hear how he did that.
I am stunned. I have no idea how he did that. He started way back. He's doing exactly as we predicted. He's got into the lead, so he's taken his short lap early, followed by Alula and Brazil. Drogba, good move. Stay on your standard lap. Miami, are they going to do their long lap? Yes, I think they are, to get that. Oh, no, Miami are doing the standard lap. Apologies.
It did look, no, it did. I agreed with you. I thought Miami were going to go around the outside as well, but they cut in at the last minute there, didn't they, with Eric Stark. There they are in the background on their standard lap. So you can see who's done short and long laps at the top of the screen. Nobody doing a long lap on the first opportunity, but first, second and third, unsurprisingly, have all done the short lap at this point. Let us just remind you, the normal lap is 1.3 kilometres, 1.1 for the short, 1.5 for the long. So the long and short laps are 200 metres shorter or longer, respectively. Let's see what John does now. Will he just carry on with the normal lap? Because if he does elect to take the long lap at this stage, he risks dropping into the wake of other boats. So I'd be surprised, Shelley. Surely he'll just stick out there at the moment on the normal lap, won't he? What do you reckon?
He will definitely stick on the normal lap. If he does the long lap now, that's suicide. No, he's definitely going to stay on the standard lap now, and he will do his long lap at the last possible choice, which we've seen it happen so many times before. He needs to get the gap between him and Rusty to at least 10 seconds, if not more. It's only 7 at the moment. But oh no, Drogba, I think we've stopped dead in the water.
Trouble again, again. Would you believe it? Oban Duncan now, we might have to see some sort of delay. Yeah, full course yellow is indeed out, as you can see. Oh, Oban Duncan and Drogba, they had the best starting position, and again we've got drama here in E1, and Oban, is there anything she can do? She's talking with the team, but if it hits 30 seconds, she'll have to be retrieved from the water. Will they have to stop the race completely, I wonder? It's full course yellow at the moment, so no overtaking. Miami are taking their short lap, I see there, just coming out into the merge zone side by side with what must have been Brazil, and it was. Miami just dropping in behind Brazil, but Drogba then are out of this race.
Right, so we're on no overtaking, but we seem to have Brazil and Team Blue Rising neck and neck here. So, interesting. No, Team Miami, apologies. So did Brazil overtake Team Miami there or not?
It'll be interesting to see, won't it? Because Miami took their short lap there, but on board with Drogba, and this is not the sight they wanted to see. Another boat then stopped. We lost Rafa just a short time ago with Tom Shab, and there's nothing Oban Duncan can do now. And of course the bad news is that means they're out of the final, doesn't it? They will be, even if they can continue in the place race at best later today. As we look back from Drogba, of course it's stopping anyone else from actually overtaking. The only way you might see a change in position now is through these short and long laps, as we've just seen there with Brazil and Miami. Oban's going to have to be towed back. She's lost power completely, hasn't she, by the looks of things? I don't know what's gone on there. Every chance, I guess, Shelley, that these tricky conditions have maybe just knocked something out of place, or electrical problem, or something's been damaged on the boat itself. I'm sure we'll find out later. There's a Lula in the meantime in second place. Blue Rising still with the advantage in the nicest possible way. This is good news, of course, for Team Blue Rising, while the full course yellow is out into the long lap now. Go Brazil. So Miami will jump back in front of Brazil, because Brazil have now done their short and long lap, and Miami are looking good at the moment. They still have a short lap to do. Hopefully no more problems though, as they had here in practice on Friday. Nothing Oban Duncan can do apart from talk to the team, try and find out what the problem is. If they already have a good idea before that boat is towed back, of course, it saves a little bit of time to start repairing whatever the issue is. So in the meantime, we're coming through to the penultimate lap. We're soon to start lap 5 of 6, and as you've already said, Shelley, John's just going to wait, isn't he, to do his long lap, and it should be a relatively comfortable victory for Blue Rising to put them straight through to the final.
Well, if we can't do any overtaking under a yellow flag, it actually doesn't make any difference if he's done the long lap. I mean, obviously he's got to do the long lap, but if he does the long lap and he comes in, are the boats on the standard lap allowed to overtake him? Another one for the race director, I believe.
Yeah, and another interesting point is going to be Brazil here, because they've done their long lap and their short lap, but ahead of them Miami are yet to do their long lap. So when Miami take the long lap, there's every chance that Brazil will be ahead, although that wouldn't be an illegal manoeuvre, would it? Because the rules say you've got to do one short and one long lap. Certainly if anyone actually overtook in a side-by-side situation, penalties would be given out then, I'm sure. So Blue Rising are coming around to start the final lap very shortly. Alula then now are doing their long lap, and Miami need to do the same then, so that shouldn't change. The question's really going to be whether Miami can maintain their third place ahead of Brazil. We're still under full course yellow, so any changes in position, as long as that yellow stays out, which it will, because Drogba is stranded, it won't be any side-by-side traditional overtaking. It'll have to come with long and short laps. There's Miami. That's going to be quite close, isn't it? With Alula, Miami just ducking in there. We're on board now with Eric Stark, the Swede, in third place, and this is going to be very, very telling, because Eric, the second of these two boats, still needs to take a long lap, so he's going to drop back. It's Brazil we'll need to watch out for, but he's still going to try and have a go, but he can't do anything, can he, because we're into full course yellow. So he's not actually allowed to, oh, that was close with the smart mark, but he's not allowed to overtake Alula because the full course yellow is still out there.
Yeah, if you're confused, Greg, so am I. But yes, it is quite an interesting situation we have here, in all fairness. But yes, I don't think there's going to be much change in those positions.
Let's see whether now Brazil can jump Miami, because Morgan Drogba, look, they're trying to get that boat. That's not a great position, is it, for Oban Duncan to be in there, stranded out there. So Blue Rising go through to take their long lap, but they're far enough ahead to maintain the lead. It's exactly what Shelley predicted. John Peters did his short lap at the earliest possible point. He does his long lap here at the latest possible point. There's those green smart marks. That's the long lap, but the question is, who's going to get third? Because Alula should be fine in second place. We're looking back from Alula now, but we're not really under attack from Miami, because Miami still have a long lap to do. The question is, will Brazil be close enough to Miami when Miami comes back in from their long lap? Here comes Brazil on the right-hand side of your screen. So will Marit Strommel be able to jump back in front of Eric Stark? It won't determine whether they go to the final or not. That will only be Blue Rising, but it will help them for their lane, their position for the start of the race-off later on today. But here's Blue Rising. They won a group stage race earlier on this year at Dubrovnik in Croatia. And what a start it was. I'm going to be intrigued, Shelley, to hear from John at the end of this, because it looked like he had a problem initially, got away much later, and by the end of the opening lap, he charged through the field, overtaking everyone. And look, there's the answer. Brazil do jump in front of Miami. Miami there saving their long lap until the latest possible point, and Brazil come out in front as for the second time this year, Team Blue Rising win a group stage race here in E1, and it was all won early on in the race with that amazing start, brilliant strategy, fantastic overtaking from John Peters. What a performance. Rusty Wyatt comes through for second place for Alula. So Blue Rising to the final. Into the race-off will go Alula, Brazil and Miami, and sadly Oban Duncan's boat stranded out there will be in the place race. There is Katie Munnings, and she's just seen Rusty, her teammate, come through for second place. Well, what a day of surprises this has already been so far, but I just can't get over the fact that John Peters came through from being so far back, Shelley, at the start to lead by the end of the opening lap. I've never seen that before.
I want to have a chat with him and say, did you get another engine from somewhere? I mean, it's like boost on boost. He just flew from the back, and I'm really not quite sure how he did it. Let's hope we can go on board with him and ask him how that happened. It was an incredible drive from him, from the back of the fleet.
And that's Sarah Mizir. She did a great job as well, didn't she, in her group race earlier on today. By the way, we'll take a look at the fastest lap shortly as well, because the fastest lap today from any of the races we're seeing here is actually a bonus point in the championship. No wonder there's some fist pumps going on here from John. He's trying to open the hatch already. He's desperate to get out and celebrate with the team because he knows what a performance that was. But Didier Drogba's boat is stranded out there. Oban Duncan, she's been so unlucky, nothing she could do about that. But let's get the answers then, Shelley, to the questions you wanted to ask as we jump on board with John Peters. John, congratulations, the Menorca holiday obviously paid off. How on earth did you do that on lap one?
Well, I was hoping you'd tell me, actually. We had a CAN bus error right at the start, and so I want to give a big shout out to Seabird Technologies, which is E1's technical analysis. They went over with us earlier today, actually yesterday, about how to reset quickly and efficiently. So they get a bit of the big hammer sometimes, but this one is for them. Let me know how to reset real quick and go from there. Over.
John, it was absolutely phenomenal, amazing overtaking. Well done, well done. And Sarah Mizir will be delighted, and I think we're going to catch up with her in a moment as well with Alex as the rescue team now gets to the Drogba boat and Oban Duncan, the collision last time out, and now this. Okay, Sarah Mizir is with Alex Aljo down there. Great result for them.
Sarah, can you tell us what happened at the start there? It was, we had a mechanic lower straight to race failure, so thankfully Seabird had given us instructions on what to do if it fails. So yesterday and the day before, John went into the boat and I went into the boat and we studied it, made sure we know what to do if it happens. So he did it within 15 seconds. He got the boat ready to go again. And we communicate, you know, head down, just run the race. And that's exactly what he did. In one lap, he passed the entire field, starting from the back. So he did an amazing job. And all of us were up here, like, shocked at what he brought out of his pocket. But as usual, that's just John.
A team effort, though. You must be so pleased with your start today as well.
Absolutely. You know, the water is as rough as it can get for the weekend. So on the race, John.
Oh, and we've just lost them down there, but if you were struggling a little bit to hear Sarah at certain points, so were we, so at least we are square there. But here comes John himself up the steps, and he is obviously overjoyed. You don't need me to tell you that. That was absolutely amazing, wasn't it? I mean, Shelley, you know more about this than I do. How did he do that? Just talk us through it. This is where he initially was stuck, and we thought he might not start at all. Who would have believed at that point that he was going to be ahead of this lot? what, just 1 minute later?
Well, he had to actually do a restart. That's what we've just heard in the interview. But fortunately, they'd spoken to Seabird yesterday and learned how to do that. I hope all the other teams have learned how to do that as well, because it could be crucial. But where he got the speed from to come up through the fleet, I'm flabbergasted. I have no idea. I cannot answer that, Greg.
I don't think anyone can. I don't think even John knew. As we look back from Alula, this is Rusty Wyatt. So looking back to the American, who's just disappearing into the distance from the Canadian pilot's boat there. And as we see these replays, as we progress our way through, look, he's nowhere to be seen. He's just on the left-hand side of your screen there at this point. You've got to feel for Oban Duncan, though. She did everything right. Perfect position, leading. And then some sort of issue that put her out and ruled Drogba out of the final as well. That's what the group stages are all about, who goes straight through to the final and who does not. Now, look at John Peters at this point. He's in the wake as well. The boat's moving around all over the place. We're cutting through. We're passing Alula. This is only halfway around the first lap.
The only thing I can say, and I could be wrong, is that John Peters came up through the fleet. Now, in rough conditions, sometimes if you sit behind another boat in the white water, it can actually be smoother than out on the actual rough water, if that makes sense. So I think he actually just came up through, stayed in the wake of the boats in front of him, and got as much speed as he could, and then just scooted past them. But it was an incredible race, but it's the only way I can answer you, Greg.
Sarah Mirza, can't believe it. That was a replay of her watching that as we were. Absolutely phenomenal stuff from John. I mean, he's got countless speed records all over the place. He destroyed the World Electric Water Speed record back in 2023. 65 world records, no less than 19 championships for John around the world. And he's very good at communication with the team as well, because he was the team principal of that squad last season. This is Oban Duncan in the meantime, and absolutely nothing you can do about that. Very much like Tom Chapp in one of the previous group races earlier on today. That must be a horrible feeling when you can see and hear everybody else carrying on and see them going down the back straight on your left-hand side, and then they come through to lap you. You're stuck, you're bobbing around on the surface, and Oban Duncan, the only thing that seemed to be working at that point was the radio to give the team some sort of indication as to what had happened. This is Blue Rising then coming through for their second group race victory of the season. The first was a couple of rounds ago back at Dubrovnik in Croatia. Sarah Mizia, the party's already started for the team, because it's not just the fact they won that race, it's the way in which they won that race. I wonder whether they'll consider hanging back like that in the future as well to get on, maybe, as you said, Shelley, the flat water in front of them. Amazing the way he cut through, and I just don't think the others expected him to be there as well, because they probably knew there was only 3 boats around them. So Blue Rising, in spectacular fashion, it has to be said, straight through to the final. Drogba will not be in the final. The rest of them will be in the race-off. Look how close it was as well in terms of time, in particular between Brazil and Miami. 6 seconds might look like a lot, but it's not, because you can easily lose 6 seconds if you drop down off the foils. We saw that happening a lot back in Italy last time out. So this is what's happened so far, and this is what it means now as we look ahead. Blue Rising and Brady, that's crucial. They're in the finals. Not in the finals, Rafa, championship leaders, and Drogba, who both broke down there in the group races. The rest of them in the race-off. The top 3 from the race-off go through to the final. Bottom 2, place race. And that's when the points will be given out later on today. So, plenty still to come here at E1 Monaco. We've seen surprise after surprise, and surely more to come here in E1. This is round 5 of 2025.